Video games, from trivial frivolity to demonic influence, blockbuster phenomenon, or genuine works of art. Whatever your experience, video games are part of the cultural zeitgeist, and you probably have a special connection with at least one of them. That may be catching your first Pokemon as a snot-nosed 7-year-old, or picking up some obscure PS2 game that you really shouldn't have been playing. Over the next few weeks, we will play games submitted by these beautiful people. You'll get my thoughts and first impressions live. Then, we'll have that streamer on the show to discuss what makes those games so special to them. I hope you will join me on this journey to discover the experiences and emotions that helped us all form Core Memories.
Okay, great. Yeah, how's that? Look at this.
Cartoon therapy, everyone.
There's a spider in the fucking bowl.
Well, you know, at least you didn't do what Corny Midlawn did, and he came dressed as me.
Well, at least you didn't do what Corny Midlawn did, which is he came to my house at 3 a.m. with a gun. So,
wow.
I mean,
well, you know, at least now you know self-defense after meeting with your wonderful guest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I was talking about how wow, you went from interviewer to interviewee in like a span of an hour or so.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's you know, I always forget how naturally fueled I am by like conversation, you know. That was part of why I liked therapy as a thing in the first place. So I was very grateful that you asked me to be on here. And I'm thrilled to do this. I'm thrilled. I honestly, I have to say, can we take a minute and hype up just this concept? As honestly, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your Gluck. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. When I saw the trailer for the just what you're doing with the Core Memories concept, I mean, I hope you do this again. I know that you put out like the guest list and it looked like I was at the end, but I hope you continue to do this because I really think this is just that's what video games are for so many of us. We literally, I play video games today because they're inseparable from my core memories in this world, let alone the types that we're talking about today.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the idea. Well, thank you first off, but you know, I love the idea of maybe like thinking about games in a different way, and maybe as something that like how do you actually connect to them instead? Because it is a medium that like begs you to like, connect with it deeper. Oops, I forgot to turn that off. Sorry, my alerts are going off in the background, but
it's okay. I can't hear them.
Oh, good. But yeah, I think, you know, as we connect deeper to video games, I think it's important to, you know, to talk about them and really think about that. So you're my season finale. You picked Luigi's Mansion. Can you tell me a little bit about your pick for Core Memories?
First of all, I love talking about fucking video games, and one of my big insecurities in this world is I feel that on Cartoon Therapy I have not necessarily created like a video game related program. So although I don't think people would care if I talked about them as much as I'd like to, it's in my head that it's like a little off brand. So I'm excited even at the question. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, please.
I was, when you asked me what a game, like a core memory game pick for me would be, I wanted to say Ace Attorney because in a lot of ways that's like my heart, you know? And there were other games I could have said. Visual novels are also my genre. 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, Touch Detective 1 and 2, Hotel Dusk, Room 215. People don't even know about that one. There was like a lot that came to mind, but I thought that core, like if I go earlier than that in my life, I think Luigi's Mansion, the first one, was probably when I like fell in love with video games in general as a medium. I don't know that I would have played Ace Attorney truly if I wasn't so deeply obsessed with Luigi's Mansion.
I love that. Yeah, and I got my I got a chance to get my hands on it for the very first time on Tuesday, and really enjoyed it. How old were you when you picked it up?
Oh my God, I got it as a Christmas gift. It's like
Yeah.
that's how much of a core memory it is. It's imbued with visuals of wrapping paper, and I opened up the GameCube. I got a GameCube for Christmas probably in like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
If it was out by December, I would have gotten it right away in 2002, I guess. But I opened it up. I remember I got Super Smash Brothers Melee and Luigi's Mansion were my two games to play with it.
Oh,
And I
dude.
remember it was the first time did you have a GameCube?
I didn't know. I missed all of the GameCube games.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't have a freaking. No wonder you didn't play this, I guess.
No.
What were you, a
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 guy?
I had a PlayStation 2, and I think I was a big Xbox guy. I was big into like the Halos
Okay.
and the Fables and like all of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should play all of the GameCube games together. Get me in on that. Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
GameCube is like just there was something, it's like a toy in a way that was unique for a game system. You open it up, it has like a little handle, it has a little lunchbox. I remember being so fascinated by
Yeah.
the way the games were in these little discs. I mean, like the smell of the fucking case when you would open it up and like the little booklet and it's this little case and I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I getting into?" And then I remember putting Luigi's Mansion in first, even though I had played Super Smash Brothers the original on N64 and was
Hmm.
eager to play Melee. There was something about this like Luigi has a mansion? What? Those are the days where there were no trailers. I miss
Mm-mm.
these days. There was no,
Yeah.
I didn't know about it before. I didn't watch 15 hours of gameplay. I didn't even
Hmm.
know the game existed until it was in my hands.
Yeah. We can kind of like ruin games for ourselves nowadays by like investigating it too much and seeing like, oh, what does this person think of it before I try it, and kind of form our own opinion, form opinions before we even get a chance to play it. So
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, and this was like a beautiful time in life where when I started playing Luigi's Mansion, it was it's so different than anything Nintendo has done. I'm gonna say before or since, including Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3. I don't
yeah.
think are doing anything near what Luigi's Mansion 1 is doing. I see Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 as so different than the first one that they may as well be a different series. I think Luigi's Mansion 1 is a Nintendo horror game.
Mm.
You go into the rooms in this game, I'm sure you saw it because you played it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Silent Hill. When they're dark, dark,
Yeah.
dark rooms. And
Yeah.
for a kid, like, and then later Luigi's Mansion games, they brightened everything up. You
Mm.
have a flashlight, but you don't really need it. If you like, you could see what's in the rooms anyway. This was so dark that I remember shaking in the same way that his hand would shake when he would
Yeah.
open up the doors in the cutscenes. It was really scary.
Yeah. So it sounds like they really kind of embrace the like horror part of it, and I gotta say, like getting my hands on it, I realized like this game is just oozing with Nintendo charm that you don't see
Yeah.
anymore. Like even the little like Game Boy horror and the all the sound
Oh,
effects and everything.
I don't know if no, you definitely weren't. I don't know if anyone in chat was around when Cartoon Therapy was August, September, 2 months old as a channel. On Halloween, I barely knew what I was doing with my stream, but I dressed up as Professor Egad for Halloween, and I recreated that Game Boy horror, and I was down there in the little Game Boy dressed as Egad playing Luigi's Mansion, and I had Chill and Panda was there. I had this genius idea of doing free alerts for the whole day, and I made like 15 ghosts, and you
Yeah.
would just do exclamation mark ghost one, and they were popping up everywhere. But I was just trying to recreate my love for this game.
Yeah.
The Nintendo charm is there, and then such a big part of it for me. the Nintendo charm exists in sound design and the music.
Yes.
Who is the guy that did the music on this? He was all over the GameCube era. Todaka, I believe, is his name.
Okay,
Kazutaka Todaka?
Yeah.
Dude, give me a fucking break that I know who Kazutaka
You
fucking
were like
Todaka
on
is.
it, man. No,
I mean,
that was like
please,
one of the
dude.
first things that I recognized about this game. I was like, oh wow, the soundtrack is awesome, but also like the sound design is awesome. Like everything has like a little bleep or a blurb that like lets you know that you're doing something, and it's within theme.
And they're the horror, and this is a children's horror game. This is the Coraline of video games, really. It exists even in the sound effects. In the later Luigi's Mansion games, the ghosts sound like fucking they're all having they're having a fucking field day. In Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, yeah, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
In this game, the sound effects are like, you hear this, then it's like actually scary, even to me now.
Yeah.
These little sound effects. What are you kidding me with that? That's they're every little choice was in the spooky direction instead of a funny direction. And
Right.
that's what makes Luigi's Mansion 1 stand out to me.
And it kind of stands out between like Mario. Like they want to set it apart from Mario, even though he's a Mario brother, right?
Have you gotten to the part where Mario is in it?
I haven't. No, I found his hat. I haven't gotten too far into it. No, unfortunately, we were only able to play like 3 hours.
Yeah, I forget how long it takes to get to him, but I don't want to spoil anything, and I won't. But I'll just say that for people that don't know, the plot of this game is that Luigi got a letter that he won a mansion. And then as he gets there, he finds out that Mario seems to be missing somewhere in the mansion.
Yeah.
And that's really pretty scary. As a kid, Mario was my little guy.
Yeah.
I'm Mario, you know? Honestly, like that, if I could go there, that is a wild thing, and it's a part of the fear. We were Mario. Like, Mario was my guy. He was the player's character.
Yeah.
So when all of a sudden he's gone, and Luigi is someone that the player is not even used to really spending time with, but here we are, he's our guy. There's something like, for a child, there's something like isolating about that. You're like, okay, I guess I'll go with this guy.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything even creepier. It's hard to put that to words now because Luigi has become so popular. But in 2002, we ain't seen the guy, baby. We saw him fucking around in the Mario Kart, and that's about it.
He was like pretty much a carbon copy of Mario until maybe Luigi's Mansion, where he became his own character. You have a brother, right?
Yes, multiple.
Oh, you have. So, like, did you feel that like kind of like brotherly bond in trying to like search for Mario?
Oh, that's a great question. Great question, especially because my older brother played this with me because I was so scared of it. And there must have been that there. Now that you say it, I think that was like an internal part of this game for me. Is because, like there were so many moments. The first boss, I saw you battling against him yesterday. So I know, Chauncey, I know that you were then, or Tuesday. When I got to him, I was so scared. I put the controller down and I said, "I'm fucking." Well, I didn't say I'm fucking because I was a kid.
That little baby is no joke.
This.
Yeah, that little baby was no joke. I was not prepared for that. Like, not difficulty, but like spike in. It was very involved. The boss.
And my brother picked up the controller in that moment. Yeah, because I couldn't do it. You have to suck the balls, if you will, and then spit them back out at him and everything.
Yeah.
And he took it from there, and then we kind of played side by side. Did you have an older brother?
No, I all sisters.
Oh, okay. So maybe that would have been lost on you, that connection. Were they gamers or no?
Well, my younger sister is. I have two sisters that were like 19 and 20 when I was born, so but then I have one younger sister, so yeah, we're kind of spread out a little bit, but yeah, my younger
but you didn't
sister
really have like couch co-op gaming childhood type of a thing, or maybe you did a
Well,
little.
maybe with like neighborhood kids, you know.
Oh,
But,
sure.
yeah, but not like fully. You know, it was I did a lot of like solo gaming. So yeah.
Yeah, as this game goes on, you find these pieces, like you said, you found Mario's hat,
Hmm.
and the fear gets really wild. Have you been to the backyard yet? Or
I
maybe you didn't
haven't.
quite get
No.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
haven't got
There's
back
a
there.
scene in the backyard that they let you see, which is just radical.
Yeah.
That's very, you kind of have it gives you a little bit more of a clue as to where Mario is more directly.
Hmm.
And Luigi, when he sees what's going on with Mario, he's like screaming
Oh
about it.
wow.
Even in the game, if you tap A, he screams for Mario, and it's not funny,
Yeah.
you know?
It's
There
like
was
he's
something about the
genuinely
GameCube.
afraid of for
Yeah, this
Mario.
guy is
Yeah.
scared shitless. Now in the new ones, it's all a big comedy act, and they're doing Three Stooges stuff. But
Mm.
back then, I think one of the amazing things about the GameCube era,
Hmm.
and this probably was true for PlayStation stuff too, that time was cartoon characters were very dimensional. They were very 3D. They had feelings. It wasn't all a joke.
Yeah.
If you think about like Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door,
Hmm.
it's the quintessential Mario RPG in many ways because the characters are deep. It's not just a Babam. It's Admiral Bobbery, and he's
Yeah.
got a past, and he's got an arc, and he went through some shit.
Yeah.
Like this is Luigi going through some shit.
Yeah, I love that, and that kind of like lended to him being a bigger character now, right? Like everybody knows, like you
Yeah.
said, like everybody knows Luigi as a character now, but back before he was just the green guy, the player two.
Yeah. The little loser, the little coward. Actually, I don't even think he had the trait of cowardice until Luigi's Mansion came around.
Oh, okay,
I'd be
yeah,
curious to see if they ever tried that. You remember the year of Luigi? Yeah, and
I
what a
do,
year
yeah,
it was.
yeah, I remember that.
Really.
Do you have like a favorite part of this game?
Oh man. Yeah. I have you've gotten obviously through this door on your other
Yes,
playthrough, right?
I did, yeah.
Um, there is a floating candelabra in the hallway. Did you
Hmm.
see that yet?
Yes, I did. It's like
There,
a little
there's
three
a
pronged like
yes. Did
yeah.
you see why it was floating?
You know what? That's where I stopped. Is I was able to
Okay,
go
great.
and see it, but yeah, I didn't get to see why.
That lantern, this candelabra, it turns out that there's a ghost holding the candelabra, pacing around this hallway,
Hmm.
muttering to himself. And the it's not clear to me, and I don't think it will be clear to even to us, like if we were to see it, what he's even really going on about.
Yeah.
But there was something as a kid to me so like imaginative and it opened like I remember having nightmares about what the hell is this guy with the candelabra doing in the hallway. And the my favorite thing about this game is that every character is built with that kind of imaginative depth to
Yeah.
me. Like there's not just any of these gallery ghosts that you see where the guy reading the book and then his the wife with the you have to open up
Hmm.
the window and like they were full of there was a story being told underneath here of
Yeah.
like a family that had this mansion and now they're dead and they
Yeah.
had a little story. There's some chefs and a guy eating in the kitchen. There's this guy pacing. He maybe is like the butler. And I remember putting it all together in my head and just feeling like I was really spending time in a dense like world that meant something with characters that felt weirdly real
Yeah.
for 2002,
Uh,
even for
Characters
2002.
that are factually dead but feel and not real but feel alive.
Yeah. And how many Nintendo games are I don't think we'll ever see Nintendo go this route ever again. I really don't. Like Luigi's in a world literally of death. Luigi goes to a world of the death in this game. I think in these other ones, have you played two or three like on Switch?
No, I haven't played any Luigi's Mansion. I don't know anything
Do you
about
steer
the
clear of
series.
Nintendo these days? No, you're a Pokemon head.
Yeah, no, I'm well, yeah, big Pokemon guy. Don't play any of the new ones. I don't know. I bought a Switch. I played the like new Zelda for a while. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't really call to me. I was telling chat the other day that like, yeah, I my first console was a Super Nintendo, and then I got the N64, which was mind blowing at the time, right? And then for Nintendo, I skipped all the way to Switch, so I missed out on
Wow.
Wii
Why do you
and
think that
GameCube.
was?
I think that Xbox coming on the scene, and like Xbox kind of felt like, oh, we're the new kid on the block. We got like, we're like cool. It was very like Fruitiger Arrow too, like very like big and blocky and flashy. And now it's just a big block. But you know, back then that was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But what the
Yeah.
hell? Besides Halo, are you? I imagine you're about my age. What are you? 30, something like that?
Yeah. 34.
Okay, so I'm surprised that, well, I guess maybe those couple years you've got on me are significant. What I remember what excited me about when Xbox, the first one came out,
Mm-hmm.
the Shrek video game being on there was a big
Ah.
like, oh my God, I gotta get over there, but I never did. Uh, but I guess like let's say if it was 2002-ish,
Yeah.
I was in second grade, you were in fifth, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe like Shrek was not. You were kind of getting into the Halo, into
Mm-hmm.
the what I want to say is tougher stuff. Did it feel
I
that way to
was
you as a kid?
a little bit, yeah. I think, yeah. Maybe Nintendo started seeming a little like little kiddish, and then like I got my hands on a PlayStation, and with that, like Final Fantasy, and a
Mm.
lot. That's when I really started getting into like JRPGs. So I was like, oh, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9, 10. You know, big into those Kingdom Hearts. Big Kingdom Hearts guy.
You were a Kingdom Hearts guy, me too, in a
Yeah.
big, huge way.
Oh man,
Oh my God.
love
I
it.
never I never played Final Fantasy ever really. I actually played
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X for a little bit,
Oh yeah.
but somehow I think through Kingdom Hearts I feel such a connection to the music of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
to the character designs, to like the weapon design, the
Yeah.
sound design, to the concept of a chocobo. Like it has a
Hmm.
deep, I have a visceral feeling with it.
Yeah.
Uh, I went the Nintendo route. It's interesting we kind of split off.
Yeah. Well, and I was gonna say, I really love your story about getting the GameCube for Christmas and opening up, and like the like that experience you just mentioned seems so fun. And I think about like consoles now, like the PS5, the Xbox Series X.
Whatever. Yeah.
They don't look any fun, do they? You know,
Yeah,
like
and you know, it's really true. Like the that word, the like another word is like there. Where's the whimsy really? Like
yeah,
the fun, the whimsical, the novelty of what it even means to really play a game is a lot different now, I
yeah,
think. And part of that obviously is age. I'm trying to think about there was a period of time in about 2012-ish, around the time where The Last of Us came out. I was like graduating high school, and there were great games that came out. Last of Us obviously is
hmm
tremendous. BioShock Infinite I did like, and that was out around then.
yeah,
BioShock in general. But there was a period of time where you'd go to the store, I feel, and the covers of all the games in GameStop were overwhelmingly, literally the color gray. It
yeah,
was like Deus Ex. Everything was like a cold, dusty, gray kind of shooter. There was a even Last of Us and BioShock kind of included in that.
yeah,
The colors were muted. We fucking went into a dark place. And
yeah,
I don't know that the AAA industry has necessarily left it, to be
yeah.
honest.
It
I
never
think
came back
Nintendo
from
is
that.
doing a great job.
Yeah,
But I don't think we're like, where's the Sly Cooper? Where's the Crash Bandicoots of today? Where's the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger? Did you play any of those?
yeah. I
You
God,
did?
I am. I played a little bit of Sly Cooper. I'm a big fan of a little series called Viva Pinata. Have you heard of that one? Played with that one?
Oh. Bop, 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 bop,
Yeah.
shadoo-be-doo, bop, 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 shadoo, fucking come on, come on. It's time to
Yeah.
lose control. Come on, turn off the radio. I love Viva Pinata, and I love the Strokes.
Oh man, yeah. I put a embarrassingly amount of time into Viva
Oh my
Pinata.
God. That
But
would be another. If you're ever doing another one, that would be a. I don't know if the theme would be the same because I
yeah,
was a little older. You too, probably when that came out.
yeah, I was like in
But
high school playing Viva
dude,
Pinata.
and why? Where the? And I hesitate because I don't like to swear. But where the fuck is the next Viva Pinata?
That's what I've been saying.
If
I every time honestly here on the show, I try to get Microsoft's attention to at least give us a port. You can't play it unless you got a Xbox 360. Isn't that crazy?
I had the yes, I had. Did you play Trouble in Paradise, the second one?
Yeah, I love Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah. So I had the pleasure. My wife's family has like an old Xbox 360, and we were kind of rifling through their games this past Christmas. I hadn't played Viva Pinata in, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
maybe more. And they had Trouble in Paradise, and I got to play it for a little while, and just the little sounds, da-da, doo-doo,
Oh
da-da,
yeah.
doo-doo. And the little, I like seeds. Remember that little prick?
Yes.
He would come walking. I have different sorts of seeds, and why don't you look at this? And he'd fucking, I could live in that world. Viva Pinata, if you don't know, it's a game where you create a garden. It's a very unique, even type of game, I would say, because it's like a garden maker.
Yeah,
Not
but
a farming
it's not
sim.
even,
It's not like that.
Yeah, it's not a farming sim, and it's not even about like, oh, I gotta make money in my garden. It's literally like, oh, if you plant this type of tree, this type of animal will show up, and if that type of animal shows up, you'll have this type of animal show up. And like, I don't know what it was about that game. I think I had gotten it, and at the same time, I had started enjoying some libations. And yeah, I would I would just play that game for hours on it.
Those are two so weirdly unrelated things that don't even really feel like they would go together.
You'd be surprised, man.
You didn't start drinking like with Halo and stuff. You started drinking with fucking Viva Pinata. I like seeds, and you're fucking it's Cedos again, man.
Well, for me, it was more smoking the herb. But yeah.
Oh, good for you. You're pretty. I guess even so.
Yeah.
I think that Viva Pinata did something really different, in that it was like, I don't like to use the phrase. I just watched Bobby Lee's interview with the Eric, whoever created Stardew Valley. Did you see that?
Ape, yeah.
In that world.
Yeah, I saw a clip from it. Yeah.
And he talked about how he doesn't like Stardew Valley being under this moniker of cozy games. He says he considers it to be an RPG.
Yeah.
And so I was going to say Viva Pinata was like a cozy game in a sense, before that was really a phrase.
Yeah.
But then I remember you could literally, you had to kill these fucking pinatas. Sometimes you had to beat them over the head if they were an evil one with a shovel, or even if they were a good one that just wanted to eat one of your, whatever I don't remember all their names. I wish I did. The fox, and then he had to eat like 2 rabbits.
Yeah, so sometimes you had to lose a pinata to gain one.
And there was something weirdly not cozy and calming about that.
Do you remember they had and this was primarily in Trouble in Paradise, so you might not remember, but they had sour pinatas that would come in, and they would
of course.
Yeah, and you could bring them over to your side with the right conditions.
Oh yeah.
I loved that.
I think Trouble in Paradise introduced the desert and the blizzard area. And then you would have to set the little trap, and you're literally trapping innocent creatures. and
Yeah.
forcing them to come to your
Yeah.
shitty garden where you might hurt them.
This is
So
domestication. Oh my
it's
god.
supposedly still in development. Rare has a crazy looking new game stuck in development hell. Everwild looks cool, never coming out.
Oh,
Sorrow's been asking for a Viva Pinata remake for years.
I have. Shogundi knows. I gotta bring attention to something else that Ethan Viz said. The same director of Kingdom Hearts did the Final Fantasy 7 remakes. And it very much feels like a Kingdom
Ooh.
Hearts game. Like once you get into it and it gets like
Yeah.
really kind of whimsical a little bit. I was so happy that they kept a lot of the weirdness.
I'm excited. I have them wish listed on Steam. But that speaks to a greater, I would say issue with the world and with the world of gaming
Yeah.
that was not present in my little baby days of playing this Luigi's Mansion. By the way, this ghost's name is Neville, and if you read his heart, he talks about some dark shit that he used to do in his past. He used to hurt people and drown little kids and shit. And then you wait for him to yawn. That's his weak point, and you flash his heart and suck him dry.
Can I tell you, it took
Anyway,
me forever to figure that out. I was like, as you
Yeah,
can
but
probably see in the background, it took me forever.
that's that's part of the fun of it is like they were all a little character-driven puzzle. In
Yeah.
future Luigi's Mansion games, they're still puzzles, but a lot of the rooms are empty. And you go into a room and you have to like figure out how to get a key by like tripping the circuit breaker and going around a thing and figuring out, and that's fine, but basically every room in this game had a unique character design, bursting with life and animation, who had kind of a unique mechanic of a little thing you had to figure out in the room. And
Yeah.
character driven was such a big part. I think
I
that's
love
a
that.
part of that whimsy, the
Oh,
character driven aspect of it.
So would it be fair to say that this game like had such an impact that it impacts what you do now?
If I could show it to you, I have a big, like, nice, probably too expensive Luigi's Mansion statue that I look at, and I'm not kidding you, literally on a
Statue?
regular basis. It's one of my, yeah. I would take it down and show you, but I would have to move my light.
Oh, okay.
I have a series of things that inspire me, and I
Yeah.
have this Luigi's Mansion. It's a statue. It's actually a lamp. So like you turn it on and this thing it shines like a lamp.
No way.
But I have it there because it does inspire me so much. The
Oh, that is
characters, there's like
fantastic.
freaking 30 unique ghost characters in this game.
Yeah.
And they have their own little stories, or they have certainly enough going on that you're kind of being asked to figure out what their story is. And
Yeah.
I just think that's where the whimsy is. Sly Cooper, character based. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, character based stuff. Shrek, the video game on Xbox, character based.
That he never got to play. We're gonna get you that game.
Never got to play it. I know, God. That and a Lugia card. That's what I
Oh.
need in this world.
Yeah, Lugia. I'm a big Lugia hater.
What?
Yeah. I was told Shogundi was like, don't bring up Lugia if you have been so on. I was like, I'm
What's
going to.
wrong with him?
I don't,
What the fuck did he ever do?
I don't like the design, man. I don't know. He looks goofy.
He's like, you know what? He does look goofy. Shogundi sent
I
me
am.
a
I'm a
thing.
ho-oh
It's
guy.
up there. I think I can sneak and get it. You're a ho-oh guy?
I am,
Ho-oh is over-designed, filthy, meaningless, garbage, shit, trash, vile. I spit on the fucking beak of that.
At
dick.
least you can look and know exactly what he is. I have no clue what Lugia is supposed
Hey,
to be. Is he a
I
penguin?
don't know. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true. First of all, they're Pokemon. And they live and they can be whatever they want, right? They could be a little key ring. They could be what's Wobbuffet? You know what I mean? What's he supposed to be?
Oh, isn't he
But
one of those like things that
Ho-Oh-
you smack and it bounces back up? I don't know.
Well, what do you call that? One of those
I don't know.
things.
A weeble. They wobble, but they don't fall down.
Oh, Weeble Wobblefet.
That's
Is
what I was
that
thinking.
Really
Maybe.
true.
Yeah.
Boppo. Yeah, he's a Boppo in many ways. Lugia to me is a simpler design than
Yeah.
Ho-Oh. Because Ho-Oh, they had every single feather drawn on that motherfucker. I'm looking at the thing. He looks like a firework of feathers.
He's definitely peacocking. Yeah.
Lugia has first of all, he's got a gluck of a lifetime because he's got a long giraffe neck. I really like that I think Lugia's like backstory gets genuinely really dark in the game dev side of things. Like, I wish I could recount exactly why, but I know that there's a weird story about like the creator's mom fucking, I don't know, did something,
Yeah.
hit him, and then he made Lugia. Am I right on this, Shogundi? Do you know this? Isn't Lugia, somebody died in the creator's life, and Lugia was about death and something really dark.
Yeah, Shogundi would know. I I wasn't gonna bring this up. I wasn't gonna bait you with the Lugia talk, but you brought him up. I've been at parties and have like had full on arguments, all for fun about Lugia's design.
Well, I have been at parties and I have arguments that ended in physical fucking brawls, unfortunately, based on Ho-Oh's design. So, and one time I wasn't going to say this with you, but I actually brandished a firearm on a close friend for daring to say that Ho-Oh was better than Lugia. So I would just say in a fun way, choose your next step very carefully here.
Yeah, now that you know how to use rifles too, I might not even see you coming.
In a light way.
Yeah,
Lugia,
in a video
Luigi.
game. Yeah.
I like LUI. I like LUI. What can I say? Lugia, Luigi, and Lewis from Even Stevens.
Okay, yeah. Wow, haven't thought about Even Stevens in a while neither. Have you met anybody else in either your real life or here on Twitch? You've never met anybody else. They've never let you out. Get back in your animation dungeon.
That's how it feels. I love that as a question. Just in the middle of all the fun, have you met anybody else?
No, when you won your award, your Hidden Gem award, that was the first time you've been out the house. Like, how did that feel for you?
Yeah. It was honestly scary. There was let me tell you this, a lot of Ho-Ho fans in downtown LA, and to be a Luginian walking there was a little bit scary. Some people threatened me and it got dark.
Yeah, that's why you had to pull a fire.
What were you actually asking?
Have you met anybody else that has had like the same love for this game as you?
My fucking nightmare, evil curse from Satan in this world is that I don't feel like I basically never, and this is actually true. I basically feel like the games that I really love, I don't know fucking anyone that likes them or loves them as much as I do. Because Luigi's Mansion is a little bit of I would say it's like maybe besides Half-Life 2, I would say it's like maybe my most commonly enjoyed like hyper fixation game.
Yeah.
But most of them, like, nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Ghost Trick, Ace Attorney. I want to talk about Miles Edgeworth. I want to talk about, is CJ Wheelwright here? For some reason, I feel like CJ would understand this.
CJ.
I want to talk about Miles Edgeworth for the rest of my fucking life. I want to sit here and extrapolate about the differences between Godot and Manfred von Karma and their prosecuting styles in the Ace Attorney series. And you know what people around me want to talk about? NHL, fucking chicken bouillon cubes and different types of soup and shit like that. Nobody is on my same level with gaming. And it's actually been an isolating thing for me. I spent way too much time on forums. And that's why. Were you a forum guy?
I was for a while. I think now the internet has gotten so like and boring a little bit, but yeah, I remember forums were pretty sweet back in the day.
That's where I would go because what the hell what am I supposed to do? I go to school and they're like, I can't stop whatever. What do kids do?
What kind of school did you go to? Did you run maybe a shorter bus there?
I'm trying to think of what were they going to say. I couldn't finish that. I can't stop looking at paper towels. I don't know what they do. I don't know what a kid does. But I know they weren't doing what I did.
My partner works with kids, and one of the funniest things she's ever told me is that this kid walked up to her. She'd never talked to this kid before. He goes, "I'm the fastest kid you've never heard," and then just runs away.
The kids are wild like that. I was doing I was working at a YMCA as a social work counselor basically a few years ago, and this kid ran up to me, and the first thing he said to me, dead serious, was, "Hi." I said, "Hi." He goes, "Can you beat up God?"
See,
and
that
I
was
said, "I sure can, Junior. I sure can, baby."
That was your anime pro tag intro right there. You were gonna be isekai to another world.
I wish I said yes, Slick, but no, I didn't. Shogundi says, "I guess the creator of Lugia had no intention of releasing Lugia into the franchise, but he fucking died, and they decided to release it anyway." So in other words, Lugia is like he was never meant to fucking come out. You know what I mean? There are some human beings like that too, and unfortunately for about 26 years of my life, that's how I felt.
I hear that. Is it were you were you an indoors kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's no shade.
You know.
Like, yeah, there's no.
Were you?
No shame in that. I mean, kind of. I mean, yes, but also no. Like, I grew up in a super rural area, so it was like, well, you can either go fucking play in the corn or whatever, or play a video game.
But even though you didn't go the Nintendo route with GameCube, you did do a lot of bing, 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 bing.
Oh yeah,
Game Boy, yeah. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
Right?
I would. We had this like yard light outside of my bedroom, and if you caught the light just right, you could get your Game Boy, and I would be playing like Pokemon Silver. I had the Lugia version,
yeah.
But if I caught it just right, I could play it late into the night. So yeah, definitely a big Game Boy guy.
And what a beautiful world. What I was starting to say earlier, I stopped myself and went on a whole tangent. One of the things that I said is shitty about the world today and the world of games, as opposed to back during the Luigi's Mansion time, is we were talking about Final Fantasy, and I said I wish listed it. And in these days, we had like there wasn't the paralyzation by choice or the unlimited freedom of 20 billion fucking games to play. Yeah. Like, how do you have a Steam account? I would imagine.
I do, yeah. I keep buying games.
How many games are in your wish list? Yeah, right.
87. I looked recently. There's 87 games, and I own like 80 games I haven't played.
Yeah. There's wish lists. There's backlogs. There's, there's a feeling for me that is inescapable, I think, at this age.
Yeah.
That there are so many games I want to play that when I'm done with one, I go right to the. It's kind of a thrill for me. Like I finish a game and I can't wait to start my next one. As I conclude the story of like Chaos Child, I know that I'm about to start Never 7, the end of infinity. Okay. And as I'm at the end, I can't wait for the next one. And you'll hear by the two games I just mentioned why I was an indoor kid who was always on forums because nobody else was playing the games that I was playing.
Yeah, you had to find your people.
But now there wasn't that. I don't know that we can ever get back to the days of catching the light on the Game Boy and playing it late into the night. You're so present. You weren't picking up your phone and fucking doing a few videos in the middle of your game session. Yeah. Nobody's texting you. It's not like you're just in the world of Pokemon and you're catching the unknowns and you're all present right here. Yeah. Even though it was a screen, it doesn't feel like it was. Not in the way that today's screens are these sort of like invasive holes into a nightmare of bombardment. These old screens, when it was a one app screen,
Yeah.
you're opening this screen, you are only playing
To
Pokemon.
do this
You're
thing,
not
yeah.
minimizing it. You're not, yeah, pulling up a YouTube video. You don't have another song going. No one else can buzz you. It was strangely, I think of a Game Boy as like a meditation device now
Yeah.
compared to the phones and stuff that we had.
Yeah, I kind of miss when devices just did one thing instead of one device for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we had like physical
Because,
media for things. And like yeah, it was ultra
yeah.
like capitalist and consumerist and everything, but like, we were kids, man.
Yeah, that stuff didn't touch us back then, mentally. Like
Yeah.
I've been trying to it's just really hard to divert your attention away from the distractions and just do the one thing on your. That's why I could never do mobile gaming,
Yeah.
really, other than a Steam Deck is my mobile gaming, not mobile on the phone.
Yeah, you helped talk me into buying a Steam Deck actually.
Dude, and
Yeah,
has it
listen to you
changed
talk
your
about it.
life or
Yeah.
freaking what?
I mean, truly, yeah, I'm playing way more of my games now than I ever probably would have.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I have a problem with mine where.
I
Go
work
ahead.
here at this computer, and so like I'll spend 8 hours a day here at the computer, and I know you feel the same, and then it's so hard to be like, okay, well, I guess I'll sit here for another 3 hours and play my game. Now,
Yeah,
Twitch has
yeah.
helped with that, but still,
And it makes sense. Like psychologically, I try as much as possible to differentiate my spaces, and try to be really conscious. Do you work from home as well?
I do.
Is that why
Yeah,
you're saying 8 hours?
yeah,
Yeah. So, like, when your computer is your workspace, but it's also your game space,
mm-hmm.
you're almost doing with your room what our phones are doing as a like with just there's so many things happening in this one spot. I
Yeah,
like a Game Boy, one thing, one screen,
yeah,
one room, one concept. If I can achieve it, it's not always possible. Diverse environments. When I relax, I do not relax in my
in your
work
office. Yeah,
stream space. Yeah.
yeah,
I go get my Steam Deck and I sit on a chair, and that's my little cozy space for that. And I'm sorry for fucking, I don't have to get like this on an interview, but
do it.
Healthy Gamer, GG, Dr. K,
Yeah,
talks about how um, the key to achieving happiness, no matter what you're really going through, to stealing happiness, he says, no matter what you're going through, is to practice the concept of one pointed mindedness. There's one thing you're doing. This is what Buddhist meditators are talking about. This is what any type of meditation that's focusing on holding your breath and focusing on your breath, bringing your attention to a singular point,
yeah,
and when you can do that with your space, even just talking about it is like naturally calming to me.
yeah. When did
So fuck yeah,
multitasking
Steam Deck.
become the norm? Right? Like, it's
I
wild.
think with the invention of this prick and fucking Devil's Mirror.
I know. Oh man. Well, anyway, Vince and I just created a new segment. It's called "Everything Sucks Now, but It Didn't Used to."
Yeah, that's right. Mighty Narwhal asks, do you think kids will ever capture that sort of feeling?
Maybe when they get a new Fortnite
That
skin or something.
the feeling. What do you think? The feeling of when you were young and catching the glint of the light in the Game Boy so you could play it late into the night. Can they
I don't know if
have
that.
that anymore?
I don't know if that. But like maybe it translates to something like, oh, school let out early and I got to go home and play Roblox with my friends, or you know
Yeah.
something similar like that. I don't know. I'm sure that there are like, because like I'm sure there are people older than us that are like, God, can you believe that kids these days will never know the joy of getting off work at the coal mines and going to have a beer or whatever
Yeah, right,
they
true.
do, you know, I
True.
don't know. Yeah, maybe not not maybe different, but still kind of the same. I don't know. That's a really good question. It's very insightful.
It's a nice
Narwhal.
thought. I mean, I hope they can.
Yeah.
It's tough to not be old man like, on the deck talking about the better days.
Yeah.
But the concept of your show, your core memories, lends itself to the desire to,
Yeah,
like,
here we are, man.
just the wonderment of, like, driving home. Here's the thing I don't think kids will feel anymore, by and large. I remember my mom taking me to get Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Mm.
And like I would do with every game, I have such a vivid memory of looking at the back case of the game
Yeah.
and reading about, oh my God, and Mom, can I open it? And she goes,
On the way
yeah.
home, yeah.
I use her car keys to open it just to look at the little booklet that came in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, this is Shadow the Hedgehog, and this is, Jiminy fucking Cricket, and this is Yao Ming, and here all, and I'm can't wait. I'm flipping through.
Yeah.
You're smelling the little book. You got your shit in your hand. It's a feeling that I don't think could be replicated now, because kids probably have watched like 50 YouTube videos and 80 Twitch streams about the game that they're about to play.
About a game you're about to
So
play,
there's not
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're kind of setting yourself up to be disappointed in some ways, because a lot of the marketing around games now is like, this is the biggest and best thing you've ever seen. Yeah, and it's hard to avoid. I try my best to avoid it, but man, the algorithm is strong.
Mambo said, sometimes Coco and I have 90s WrestleMania all-nighters. That's so amazing. You can try to conjure up some magic. If anyone could, Mambo, it would be you.
Yeah, Momboy is magical. Well, if you had to tell, like, if you had to sit, maybe like get a kid or maybe a younger person to play this game, like, how would you pitch Luigi's Mansion to them?
Oh my God. What a fun thought. Because, I'd like to think that in the next maybe year and a half or so, that'll be a real, thing in my life that I'm preparing to think about. Not that my kid's going to be playing it right out the fucking womb. My kid is born and I've got the GameCube.
Yeah. Here you go.
But I think it would be about the environment for me. I would sit them down. We'd get all the lights would be off. I would like consciously try to get a little scary. Like, for the first time, we're going to walk into fear a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's a safe little game to start getting into horror. And what does fear, I wouldn't say this, but I would turn the lights off. I'd maybe light a little couple candles, and then we would hit the curtains would be down, and you hear that opening voice that goes, Nintendo. And the kid, I would be like, I would act a little bit scared, maybe.
Yeah.
And I would ask them a lot of questions, more so than I would try to sell it. Because the best thing about Luigi's Mansion to me is that it is like a mood. It's so alive.
Yeah.
Luigi, we have to help him find Mario. Hopefully, they could start with Luigi's Mansion 1 in this world. I don't know if it's possible. But, like, do you see that scene that just played? The hand going, Ernie, and Ernie?
Yeah, you can't open it.
Why the fuck would you put that scene in a game if you weren't trying to scare a kid a little bit?
Yeah. Or
it
even
would be
the doors.
Between Luigi's Mansion and Coraline, those would be the first things I would show my kid, and then have conversations about fear and what isn't that kind of scary. And
that like speaks to your background though, right? Because like you're coming at this with like a feelings first approach.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it does.
Do you approach
and they're important feelings?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you approach a lot of media like that?
Yeah, I guess so. These are great questions. There's a wonderful show. Maybe you watched it in the 90s called My So-Called Life. Have you ever seen it?
I didn't have cable.
It was a incredible show. And there's I'm answering your question in long form, but
please.
There's a wonderful scene where the main character has written a poem and she has to read it in class. And the poem basically says, once upon a time there was a girl. She slept in a lovely little cottage made of gingerbread and candy. She was always asleep. Her father blew her a kiss, and the house fell down. She realized she was lost. And the kids start laughing in the class.
Yeah.
And the teacher says, "Why are you laughing?" And one of the kids says, "It doesn't make any sense." And the teacher says, "Yeah, well, it does better than make sense. It makes you feel."
Ooh.
And that was a really, really, really big thing for me as a kid. So I think I do use feelings to connect first and foremost with these sorts of things, media of any kind, games, movies. It can be the most logically thought out story in the world, and it could put me to sleep. When
Yeah.
something makes me feel, and I think something being character driven
Mm.
is a nice gateway into feelings because characters are, we're all characters to me, right?
Yeah.
So you got a character driven thing, you can connect on an emotional level, I think, a little easier.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You know, again, like you said, it's almost like you can connect with something as long as it is connecting with you via feelings, via
Yeah.
like
Do you find that to be true too for you?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mentioned on my bonus episode when I played Spiritfarer, which if you haven't, please check it out. It's an absolutely beautiful game. That for me to connect with something, it needs to have like a a good art style, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be good, like oh my god, this is really good art, but like at least have some thought put into it.
Yeah, a little character, a little uniqueness.
Yes, yeah. So that's kind of what I search for, especially. Um,
Spiritfarer is like an anthropomorphic animal, if I'm sort of a game where you play as like a liaison to the
yeah,
end of a spirit's life, I think, right?
yeah.
I know
So
a little
so
bit
let me
about
let
it,
me
but I
pitch
have
this
never
to you.
played it.
I love talking about
Yeah.
this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. You play as the person that is taking up the mantle of Spiritfarer. You are taking spirits. You're basically like taking spirits onto your ship, making them comfortable until it is their time to move on into the next life. As you play the game, you come to realize that a lot of these spirits are people that your character has known in their life. And it
Oh
becomes
my
like,
God.
and what I really find interesting about the game is that like it feels as if the game itself is having a dialogue with you the player about life and loss.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it's really interesting. I've actually
Wow.
playing it like I
My
had
God.
some like biases confronted. While
Whoa.
I was
This
playing
sounds
the game.
extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean it. So yeah, don't let me go on because I will. I can talk about it
You can. I mean,
at
that sounds
length.
fantastic. That type of I'm making my own game right now.
Yeah,
And that type of connection that is like I think feelings are the gateway into the story. And if for me if I don't feel like I'm not hooked, even if it had everything about it aesthetically or the acting was great or the mechanics were so fun, for me, playing a fun video game is a challenge. Like
yeah,
if it's strictly fun
yeah,
and there's no emotional hook, my friends will make fun of me and say, "Vince, you don't even like video games. You like to
yeah.
read." Because they'll ask me to play. I'm thinking of games over the years,
So like
even
Fall
like Mario
Guys
Kart.
or yeah,
Yeah, Fall Guys, Mario Kart. I could do if it's based on playing with my friends, like
yeah,
we're talking and then I kind of think about it differently, but I'll never get on and just like play one of those games and just run it online. Not that I think there's anything wrong with doing that. I
yeah,
just really if the emotion isn't there, I'm not hooked. And this
yeah.
Spiritfarer game sounds like it is deeply emotionally hooking. and that's something I'm trying to do
very
in my
much
own
so.
stuff too.
Yeah,
Have
but
you ever gotten into this other side of like, have you ever wanted to make one or gotten into, you seem very knowledgeable. I'm curious
as
if you've
far
ever tried to make a game or
like
thought
video
about it
games,
yourself. Yeah.
I yes and no. I think that I would have a lot of fun doing like maybe like voices, like voice acting for games, and like
Oh
trying
yeah.
my best to like bring life to characters. Not an animator, don't have like an animation background, so that's new. Matter of fact, I talk because allow me to gush, but like your community has welcomed me with open arms. I got the vouch from Show Gundy, who, IRL best friend, who was able to kind of introduce me in. But I had this realization. I was like, oh, everybody here's an artist, and I'm like, you know. But that being said, it has kind of opened the idea for more. And I doing your
It was so
film
good.
festival was
Yeah,
I think the turning
you were
point for
so
me.
great.
Yeah, that was super
And
fun.
Mom Boy said it right. I deeply, and not in a like patronizing way, deeply believe that everybody is an artist. I really, really do. In some way, shape, or form. And I think you showed it in that video, honestly. Like the character, like you're saying, I would do voice acting. Well, you had
Yeah.
frickin' 15 characters in that. You
Well,
got
and
characters in you, and you that's to me, that's what art is. You
I
let them
think
out.
that's why like D&D, like Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh,
really connected with me, because I get to make and play characters. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
You're in, obviously you're in, you must be in Shogundi's Friday night group then, right?
yeah. That's how we met
To
8 years
be a,
ago.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Where did you meet, at a game store or something?
No, his brother runs a game, and we worked together, and he invited me out to a game, and I saw Shogundi across the table, and it was so funny because like for the first month I was seeing him every week, and we didn't like really talk to each other. We just kind of like quoted vines at each other and to make each other laugh, and then afterwards we were like, "Hey, you're pretty cool. Do you want to live together?"
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
To be a fly on the wall of your guys' campaign would
Ah.
be really a sight
And
to
that's
see.
I enjoy, as you said, like character driven narratives. I really enjoy exploring different characters. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
recently taken to I'm playing a my first female character, which is really fun to like kind of
Wow.
explore what like me, a person that's presents and considers myself very masculine, to put my shoes into like a very feminine character.
That's so awesome and good for you guys for like creating an environment where you feel comfortable in doing that.
Yeah,
Well, my friend group and I are all playing a session right now, and who I used to refer to as my brother, now my sister, my sibling,
yeah,
she has recently been, this is her first time playing
ah,
as her, like as a female character.
yeah,
We played last year, and Tony was playing as a male character. And I have a very deep history with this friend group. We've been together since we were like really little, like
yeah,
middle school, and everyone has been um, really open and great with Tony. But
yeah,
I think at the same time there have been confusion and hesitance and stuttering and confusion when we're talking. And but Dungeons and Dragons and playing, for Tony to play her character, and for our friend group to have to say
yeah,
she, and
yeah,
to interact with Tony's character as the way that she authentically is in the world, has been transformative, even I think for our friend group. And
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing that D&D allows people to do, and and that type of character expression, to be vulnerable enough to create a character, and then to be vulnerable enough to become the character, especially because I think a lot of characters teach us and show us little
mm,
reflections of ourselves. Like I'm sure you playing this female character you're talking about has allowed you to tap into probably some side of your true self that
yeah,
maybe you didn't even know was there.
yeah. Yeah, it's been nice. I also Alabaster Calico was he was based on a D&D character that I played, and I was like, I want to be just like an evil, like rich. He's a cat. He's a fat cat. And so like I was like,
Oh.
yeah, I just want to be like an evil little rich guy that just throws money everywhere, and like really fun. Not me, but like fun to just go like, yes, sure, have the help take care of it.
Yeah.
you know, uh,
Yeah.
definitely not me, but yeah, like Good Road, exactly. But long-winded to answer your question. Yeah, I if I were to get involved in any more like creative processes for games, I think like voicing would be fun. I think writing would be fun too, like writing characters. I really enjoy that.
Mm.
Um,
Well, Shogundi says that's when I realized Sorrow is an artist as it relates to your character there,
too
and
kind.
of Alabaster Calico, and whether it's writing or whatever it is, I have to say, I mean, I think what the fuck do I know? I've been streaming for 2 years, and some people seem to like what I'm doing, but I think you definitely are an artist first of all, and you're wonderful as an interviewer, and this whole concept is fantastic, and I don't know to the extent that you're making what I'm looking at with the overlays and the
Oh yeah,
backgrounds and stuff.
this is
But
all me. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, look at it. This
it's
is
my favorite
fantastic.
part.
This is art too. This is art too.
Well, I appreciate that. And hey, if any fellow streamers out there do want help with any like any voices or overlay help, I'm happy to help. That's my favorite part of it for sure.
It looks great. It looks
I
great.
I do have another question, and I love to ask everybody this question about their core memory pick. Um, I'll give you two options. One, you can erase all of your memories of Luigi's Mansion and replay it again for the very first time now, or hold on to those memories and never get to experience it for the first
Wow.
time again. Which would you choose?
Wow. That's a really good question.
It's a hard one, right?
Pippa might need help with the overlay game. What? Wow. I could erase my memories with the game and experience it all over again, or keep to basically have everything stay what it is now. Wow.
Yeah.
I I guess I would keep, yeah, I would keep my memories because unfortunately, I think, and it's a little melancholy,
Yeah.
but I think that the person I am today would not perceive this game the same way
Yeah.
as my second grade self would, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
tough.
I probably wouldn't find it as scary, I wouldn't be in the world of
Mm.
it. There's a wonderful movie called I Saw the TV Glow that I talk about all the time, where the characters are basically enamored as children with a show that's similar to Power Rangers, where they have these big monsters
Yeah.
and they looked so scary to them as children. And the movie makes a point to say, upon watching the show much later, they realized it's just plastic. This is just clay on the monster's head. These are just goofy little eyes. And the monster looked nothing like it did through the eyes of their childhood self. And I think that Luigi's Mansion 1 would feel the same way, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's incredibly insightful. What can you say the name of that movie once more? I want to check it out.
It's called the movie's called I Saw the TV Glow,
I saw
and
the
it's
TV glow.
just
Okay.
wonderful as it relates to the concept of authenticity. Really,
I
Ethan
love
Viz
that.
is a TV glow head.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Shogundi says no way.
Yeah, I asked Shogundi the same question. Matter of fact, I think all of my guests answered the same as you except for Vitamin Pug. He was like, "Yep,
Really, he would.
erase my
What
memory."
was Vitamin's What was Vitamin's
Hades.
game?
He played Hades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The frickin' Hades freak. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we talked about that, him and I.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I really like that. We got into I think kind of like maybe to parallel what we've talked about here. Pug and I talked about enjoying games as an adult and learning how to do that part of it. And that is kind of a lot harder, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really hard. If
Yeah.
you have someone that you can play a game with, I
Hmm.
think that's what I've found to be the easiest access point to enjoying a game again.
Yeah.
But even on Twitch, I fear that we don't really have that. Like if I don't know how many people on Twitch pull up somebody's stream to play a game and they are truly sitting there and watching them play the game like how you would sit and play with a friend who's on the couch. I think that
Yeah.
the medium started that way, but you're
Yeah.
going to tell me you're not checking your phone. You're going to tell me you don't have two other tabs open. You're going to tell me you're not doing a little something on the side. I
Yeah.
think, unfortunately, when your attention is frayed as a viewer, Twitch is not always the easiest way to experience playing a game with someone anymore, in my opinion. If you're able to really not distract yourself, then I think it can be. But to enjoy a video game as an adult, to me, I've enjoyed the games the most as an adult while I've played them with my wife.
Yeah.
Like we sat down and played Stray together all the way
That's
through. We
awesome.
sat down and played Alan Wake 2 together all the way through. And
Yeah.
those are like my two favorite games of the last 10 years because we had that removal of everything else because it's me and you and
Yeah.
this and that's all it is,
Yeah.
you know?
I think I think Twitch, weirdly enough, seems uniquely authentic if you take the time and care to curate your community, which you obviously have. Yeah, I think before I got back on Twitch in December, I had this like awful feeling that like the internet's dead. It's just full of bots and ads and like just trying to get me to buy stuff or view stuff. But Twitch is nice because you get to just talk with real people.
Yeah. Slick Waddle says, I think playing a game while someone else is playing a game is the same as hanging out. So now you're talking about parallel play, which I absolutely love. That's one of my love languages in this world. I do think that yeah, there's a point to be made there.
Yeah,
There's a point to be made there. And Twitch is wonderful for infinite amounts of reasons.
yeah,
I'm not, my comments are not even necessarily about Twitch, more so just about the frayed attention that I have, that I think a lot of people in my life have. Have you ever been on a Discord call and two people are kind of like playing something over there and a couple people one guy's doing something for work and it's nice and the
yeah,
parallel play can be nice, but sometimes if that's all it is, there's a frayed attention that I think removes something really important and special. And that's not
yeah.
just about Twitch. It's not just about Discord. It's about this frickin' world.
Back in 2020, when we all went inside, our D&D group switched to like a Discord, style thing just to keep each other safe. And it was still good. It was
Yeah.
still okay. We still get to do the thing we want, but like, yeah, it definitely, you could tell that like it's not the same. Not the same.
It's not. It's
Um,
not.
But yeah, you've probably been at work and on Twitch all day, so thank you so much for being here. Do you have any big shows you'd like to plug while you're here?
I'm doing my first ever IRL stream tomorrow where I will actually be going swimming.
Fun.
And get this, it's going to be 3 hours of swimming. And it's called Swimming with Little Vinci. And it's going to be mostly swimming, but sometimes I'll get out of the water and then I might get back in the water
Yeah.
and 2-3 times every few minutes I might jump out of the water and kind of, just to take a break. And then I'll go back in and I'll start swimming more.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be swimming for at least 3 hours, but for every bit donated, I'll add an extra hour.
For every bit donated, you're gonna swim for an hour.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
this is something I'm trying to do. So tune into that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have to say, thank you very much for asking me to be on this show. You're really freaking great. Your questions are wonderful. This is the first time you and I have talked like this.
It's true. Yeah.
And I can tell why you and Shogundi lived together and got along so well. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one of the magical things about Twitch is I feel like it's so easy to talk to you because I've watched you guys play Pokemon a lot, and I feel like I feel like I knew you before I knew you.
Yeah, same here. Obviously, I tune in a lot. I'm not there as often as I'd like to, but I religiously check the Patreon. So if you guys want to,
Yes, I noticed that, and you're very kind for that. You're very kind for that.
that's like probably the best, my favorite way to interact with the Cartoon Therapy verse.
Thank you, my friend.
But
Are we
yeah.
gonna do this again? Are you gonna do Core Memories again, like a season 2?
Yeah, so
or is it a lot of work?
I'm thinking about, well, I want to do a season 2. We're going to take a break. I've got some more kind of like fun ideas for the middle side or for the in-between, but I'm getting the guest list together for season 2. Some people you know, some people you might not know. I'm hoping to get Bad
Can
Street
I
on
be
here.
back on it?
You know
No
what?
pressure, but
Yeah.
say it live right now. Can I be back on it?
Yeah.
And can we play Viva Pinata?
Yes. Yes. Vince, I've never met anybody that even knows what the hell I'm talking about with Viva Pinata. So
That's how I feel.
absolutely.
Can we dress up as little pinatas?
Yes.
And eat little chocolate and shit like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I would literally dress up as who's the guy with the big, huge ass that goes way up? It's like a hedgehog, but he's fudge hog, but it's totally not a hedgehog.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
be
we
that
played
guy.
different versions of the game, honestly.
Where he would take his shirt off. Did you play that one?
Yeah,
And he would
like,
have you down there, and he would be fucking boom, boom. Did you?
Yeah, he had the very, very tiny nipples for some reason. Like
yeah, I was always
minuscule.
very jealous of that. It was almost like they were beaten smaller. And,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was weird. Definitely.
I used to try to do that growing up. That was a core memory I have, and I won't go on, but let's just say one of my early core memories was tying myself to the ceiling and hitting myself, hoping with a stick, hoping that one day my nipples would be small as a fictional pinata character called Fudge Hawk.
You're so brave. You're so brave for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for having me on. I would
Yeah,
seriously love to come
absolutely.
back, but listen, I don't want to,
No, yeah, I love it. I'll put you on the list. I'm building the list right now, and I'd love to have you.
This is great. Thank you for everything. This is so awesome. Great conversation. That fueled me in this world more than you know. It's so great to be able to talk like this. Thank you
Beautiful.
for doing this series, and I really look forward to its return and what you do next.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys do want to watch any of the others, I do have them up on YouTube. I'm gonna try to have this episode up on YouTube by the end of the night.
Oh my God, so
Yeah.
fast. Thank
All
you.
right. I try. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Oh, looks like we have a giveaway. Mom Boy, thank you so
Oh
much.
my God.
Yeah, this is actually three hats? Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm entering. Oh my God, I'm entering. If I
Exclamation
fucking
point
win this,
enter. This is the last day.
I
to
forgot
get
I can
Core
enter
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I know. This is yeah, it's the last day. Mom Boy,
Wait.
thank you so much. And can I say, fucking wonderful to meet you. Like, it was wonderful to meet everybody. I kind of already met Corny, but like I vibed with you so hard it was crazy.
Oh, you're talking about Mom Boy.
Yeah, well, you as well.
Well, it's just interesting that you don't say that kind of stuff about me. It just kind of makes me feel like you
Well,
don't
no,
really
I'm
vibe
gonna
with me.
yeah, I'm gonna say that on the
it
next
just-
one. That's
I
how
mean,
it works.
well,
you have
it
to wait
just-
your turn.
I mean, it's weird that you sent me a DM and I noticed it was at 5:45 and you said we're not
Yeah.
really vibing. ...
Yeah.
I don't know what I was supposed to do about that.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. Sorrow Stream's famous non-viber.
Congratulations to the winners. I'm going to get out of here, and congratulations on a season well done of Core Memories.
Thank you so
thank
much
you,
for
thank
being
you.
here. Everybody, Cartoon Therapy. And there you have it, the season finale of Core Memories. We sat down with Cartoon Therapy and talked about character-driven gameplay and how important it is to his gaming experience and yours. Thank you very much to everybody that has been here watching live and all of those on YouTube that are watching it now. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that helps. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Hello. 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 I don't know what to do with my hands. That's stupid. Bip. Okay. From Trivial. No. We will. Okay. This game's so special to them. So special to discover the experiences. Do I need to be more animated? You How's my lighting? And you probably have experience, or cock, more energy, more passion, more energy. Over the next few weeks, we're gonna be playing these video games. So you gotta look at the camera, stupid. I hope you'll all join me on this journey to rub my hands together, because I don't know what to do with my hands. You'll get my thoughts and first impressions live. No. Fuckity fuck. Why am I so bad at this? Bye. Bye. Goodbye.